Operate in the industry, not in the profession. What do I mean by that? Y'all know I'm going to explain what that means. It is better to operate in your profession versus operating in the industry in which your profession is in. So, what does that mean particularly to you? Industries existed first. Let me explain why I say that. There was no such thing as a doctor, no such thing as a nurse, as a CNA, no such thing as a teacher, no such thing as a teacher assistant, no such thing as a superintendent. None of that stuff existed first. No such thing as a cosmetologist, a barber, a makeup artist, nail tech. None of that stuff existed first. The industry existed first because what happened was people said, oh, we need to learn something. So people started teaching them. Oh, we are sick and we need to be cured, or we need some help, or if we have a fever, and then people say, hey, these herbs do this water does this food does this, and then they started to help people heal. Cosmos, when it comes down to hair, people are like, I want my hair to look like this, I want my face to look like this. So they started to find things in nature, and they started and with animals and using all different things, and then they created these hairstyles and these looks on their face. The profession did not exist. The profession came along because they realized over time, after just operating as an industry with no profession, no training, no standards, no responsibility, that you're now sacrificing, you're now doing this at the risk of other people. Why? Because people are starting to get hurt, people are starting to get sick, things are starting to happen. So we realize now we need to add training, we need to add education to this. So that's how professions came along. Now, I say that to say what is happening now currently is we allow the industry to dictate how the profession is supposed to run. Now, you went to school for this. You got certificates, you got bachelors, you got all of these things you keep up with. You read, you train, you do all of these extra things on the internet, anything, your podcast, anything that you try to keep up with so that you can stay on top of the profession. But yet and still, how it does it happen that the industry runs you, not the profession? Not the responsibility that you hold, that you took on when you decided to go to school and get this training. That is not leading you. It is the industry standards, the new products, the new trends, whatever happens within that industry. And I'm not just talking about cosmetology, because this also happens in healthcare. This also happens in education, because the industry is education. The profession is teacher. The industry is healthcare. The profession is doctor, nurse, CNA, radiology tech, surgeon. That is the profession. So that is the profession, the industry of that profession right there. But the industry that all of these professions operate in don't just have the professions within them. They have laws. They have products. They have other companies that make these products. They have trends that come along. They have things that other people say that should be and shouldn't be. Yet they have done no training in these professions. But somehow, we as the people that have gotten the training allow people to dictate how we should operate in our profession because of what exactly. I have not figured that part out. Now, what I have learned, and this started for me, so you're like, where did this even come from? For me, when I decided to come from behind the chair as a cosmetologist because of a knee injury I had in the military, whatever, I knew I had to refer my clients to somebody. Now, there's a difference. You see, I said that I had to refer my clients to somebody. Why did I say? Because I am the professional. It is not their job to go out and try to find somebody, right? I am the person that is trained in this, and I know another person. I understand how another person should be trained in order to serve them. So I took it on as my responsibility to refer them to somebody. Well, I couldn't find nobody. I knew one person, but she already had her own clientele. She couldn't take on all of my clients. So who do my clients go to at this point? I don't know. I didn't have anybody. And it started to bother me because now I'm sending my clients out into the world to try to figure out life, because there's nobody that I can say is operating in their profession at a standard and taking on responsibility. So I'm not referring them to none of y'all. That's how I feel. I don't care. Has nothing to do with me. You're not going to risk my clients because you don't operate in a standard and you don't take responsibility. But that happens so much today. And what that does, what people don't realize, when you let the industry dictate how you operate, you let the industry control your capacity, your ability to take on and take off. Why do I say that? Because you sit there and you say, this is new, this is what's happening, it should be this. You know that stuff is wrong. You know that stuff does not lend one single thing to how your client, how your customer, how your student, how your patient is going to get proper care, proper education, proper hairstyles. You know that. My clients used to come to me with all kinds of stuff. You know what I tell them? No, I'm not doing it. And I would educate them on why. Not just the no, give them the education on why. This is why I'm saying this. This is why I don't think you should do this. You can. I'm not going to do it because I have a standard in which I operate in. It doesn't matter what you desire. I'm not going to change that because I've done training for this. I continue to do training for this. I sit there to understand the products and how they work and what they can do. But that happens in every industry. It is your job. You come out of the profession, the school for the training, and you come within this industry. The industry does not control you, but yet and still somehow today the industry controls. And we don't operate the way that we should for our customers, clients, students, patients, whatever that is. We let them be out here in this world trying to figure it out, winging it. For what reason? I don't know, because nothing's going to stop the way the standard and the operation of me. I don't care what I'm doing. You're never going to tell me how I should operate for anybody when I did this training. What I can do is piece it out, and I don't have to work for you, and I'm okay with that. But everybody's not okay with that. But I want to challenge you, because when you don't operate the way that you know that you should, when you let things just come on and overtake you, that part of you that is good at that thing, that part of you that loves it, that part of you that is like the best of the best of the best in whatever that is, that capacity to hold and be able to take on new things for that starts to get diminished. It starts to get pushed down, squashed, pushed below, and you start to hate the thing that you do. You start to say, I don't want to do this no more. You start to say, why am I even taking? Because you let somebody else dictate how you should operate in it. It is not the people. We keep thinking it's the people that is making the industry, the clients, the customers, the patients, the students, the parents. No, it is a little bit, but you're letting the industry dictate. They're letting the industry dictate. You have to realize when somebody comes, I'm going to just explain this one thing right here. When somebody comes in to train for any profession, they're coming out of that industry. They have been within that industry. They have gone through the good and the bad. They have used the products. They have done all of the things within that industry. I'm in the healthcare industry. Why? I don't work as a doctor or a lawyer, but I'm in the healthcare industry. Why? Because I get healthcare. I go to the doctor. I use products, medicines, all kinds of stuff. I'm in the healthcare industry just like anybody else in the world. I'm in the education industry. Why? Because I have to go to school. I go to school for stuff. I do training. I do all. I have to use the products for the education. I have to abide by certain laws. I'm in that industry. You're in it too, but you're in it as a professional. The professional, the person that is supposed to bring standard and ownership within how certain things should work in that industry. That is where I think we're missing it. That is where I realize that people now just say, I want to walk away from stuff after years and years and years of doing it. And they love it. It's not that they don't love it. You've let something else take over, and now you're not operating it. I spent, since 2014 until now, I spent all this time trying to figure it out. We can change this, y'all. It doesn't have to continue to be like this. This is in any industry, period. Operate in the profession and stop letting the industry dictate how you're going to operate. That's all I got. Have a good one.